Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Rohit and this is the day 12 for the integration training. In this integration training or in this class, we'll learn how we can do the integration between one ServiceNow environment to the another ServiceNow environment. So in last few days, we talk about that integration, what is the inbound integration, what is the outbound integration. We configure a little bit inbound integrations with SOAP REST, and then we discuss about that how we can configure the REST message for the outbound. So today will basically our main focus should be using the REST method, how we can integrate between one environment, ServiceNow environment to the another ServiceNow environment. So without wasting time, let's get started. So if you see, this is my environment, that ServiceNow environment where we are last few days we are talking about, we are building a lot of integrations, we are building inbound, outbound, all these stuffs here. Now this environment is the one of the environment and I have taken another environment. So if you see this is another environment. So what we are going to do, we are going to integrate between this environment and this environment. These two are the different environment. So whenever some data will be created to this environment, we want to send this data to this environment. So our triggering point, let's say that triggering point or any data will be created to this environment, we are going to send some data. So triggering point is this environment. So that's called outbound integration or outbound REST message we are going to declare here. And then based on that, system will receive or the system will receive the data. So this will be our inbound integration. So these two things, understand correctly. So we have two environment. This is the one environment called 131384 and this is the another environment which is 105176. So we are going to integrate between these two environment. So first environment is that this 13184. This environment, any data will be created. We are going to send this data to this environment. So for this one, this environment is our outbound. We need to configure the outbound REST message, and for this environment, we need to have inbound integration. So if you have little doubt till so far, I would suggest go and check my previous video. All these steps are defined there. That what is the inbound, what is outbound, how we can define that. After that, we should come back to this video to understand that. And in this half of the work already done in our previous video. So we already created an inbound in this video. So I'll we are going to use those inbound to understand. So very first thing is that, let's say in this environment any data will be created, we are going to we are going to send that data. Okay, now question is which data we are going to send. Let's assume that any incident which is be created into this environment, we are going to send this incident information to this environment. Okay, so that's clear. Okay, first thing first is that we in this environment where I am going to receive, I am going to build something. So this is my inbound. So what we have to do, we have to define a scripted REST here. In this scripted REST API, if I open that, we already created one REST message in the last class called REST integration training. In this REST message, what all method we have created, let's understand. So we created three method. You can see one is the get incident, another is the post, which is nothing but incident record created, another is the get group information. So total we have three method. One is the get group information, another is the get incident, and this one is the incident record. Using that we can create a incident to our, using this endpoint we are able to create the incident to our endpoint through this postman or through the third party. Now we are going to use this endpoint, and using this endpoint we are going to create a incident to our this environment. So if you remember that, to test that, what are the things we needed? What are the things or what are the parameter we needed? First thing, we needed the caller ID. We need the short description. We need the CI name, impact, urgency. These are the things we needed. And uh, if we get this information, we will be able to create the incident, right? So first, what I'll do, I'll test that through the postman that this integration or this scripted inbound rest is working fine or not. For that, I'll open the postman, and if I click explore REST API, once I click that, it will give me that endpoint detail. So this is my endpoint. I'll copy that endpoint and paste to my here. First, I'll put this endpoint here. I will put the method is post. Here, I'll change that basic authentication, and here I need to put username and password for this environment. So let's go back to the user table, CC user table that we have created. So my username password is set. Now in the body, I have to pass as a raw, and then JSON, I need to pass some of the information. So what all information I need to pass? So very first thing is that I need to pass this caller ID. So this will be one of these information, and this caller ID should be here. So I'll put these curly braces, caller ID, and colon. Here I need to pass the caller ID. Next, we need to pass the short description. So I'll copy that, and then in the colon, I'll paste short description, and here I need to pass the short description. Next, we have to pass the CI. So I'll copy that CI, and then comma, here I need to pass as a CI colon, and this is the CI name I'm going to pass. Next, impact. So I'm going to pass the impact here. So let's say that I'll pass that impact, and here I will pass the impact, and then last we need to pass the urgency. So these are the information we need to be pass. So let's say that I'll pass that urgency also. These are the information we need to pass, and once we pass that, we should be able to create a actual incident record to this our this one of this environment. Like, so let's go back to the incident table and give some sample data and see we are able to create or not. So very first thing is that caller is the Rohit Kumar. I'm taking that my name as a caller ID. Here I'm just saying that paste from postman. So this might be one of these short description. Here short CI, I need to pass the CI. So let's say we'll pick that one of the CI. So let's assume that I'm going to pass the CI equal to ABC. So let's pass that. Then impact 1, and then impact 2, and urgency 2. So these are the information we are going to pass, and then once we click the send button, it should create an incident. So here we are getting that not a valid JSON because we are pass the syntax is wrong type. So now let's send that again. And you can see that one incident is getting created to our environment. So this is our environment, and here you can see this incident right now created. So we tested successfully that our inbound is ready to use. We just need to reconfigure that outbound that we are going to use in our another environment. So this environment, I don't need to do anything. If you need to know that how I did that, go and watch my playlist. The video is already there, how I configure that inbound for the first step. The second step is that, so this is the another environment dev 13184. So what I have to do, whenever this incident will be created to this environment, I need to send this data to this environment, right? For that, what I'll do, I'll declare a REST message. As you know that if I create a REST message, that is REST message is used for that outbound. So I'm going to here REST message, and I'm going to create a REST message. In this REST message, I need to put that name. So I'll say that incident data set. Here I need to define, I can put anything as an endpoint, or else I can leave as it is. So I'll say that I can put any endpoint. So let's say, let's assume that I am going to copy this endpoint and paste there. And then in the basic authentication, what I have to do, I have to click the basic, and once I select the basic, I need to click the basic profile, and I need to create a basic profile. So let's say that ServiceNow, and then here username and password that I have to be put here. So I have put this username password. I have to just click the submit. Once I click the submit, this ServiceNow profile is set right now, and I just have to be submit that or save that. So this is the REST message. Once we created the REST message, we will generate a REST method by default, which is the get method, and all these parameter that we have set here will be automatically inherited to this child one. So if I open this child method, automatically the endpoint is inherited. We just need to change the post method, because if you see here, in this case we are doing the post, so I am just changing that post method. Authentication inherited from parent, it means that whatever we have put into the REST message automatically use that method as inherited. Now in the request, we have to be pass that one value, which is, if I go back to the header, show header, and then here we have one thing called content type, and this is application slash JSON. This header I need to be passed as per that header. So I'll copy this content type here as a header, and here I need to put that application slash JSON. Now in this content, what we'll do, we will go to the body and copy that content here and then paste here. So this is my content that I am going to send to this from this environment to this environment. So these two environment, from this environment I'm going to send this data to this data. So for that I'll just save that, and then this value is not a static value. Definitely we need to be you know generate that dynamic value. For that, what I'll do, I'll copy this key and replace with dollar and curly braces and paste here. So this is the way that we can generate that the thing. So these all are static value we are going to replace, and we are going to put some parameter, or you can say some name. Whatever value we put as a dollar curly braces, this value, if we click that auto generate in the top header, if we click auto generate variables, it will be automatically generate all these variables that we have created as part of this one. So you can see all these urgent impact, this value are automatically created from here. Now what we have to do, our REST message is defined here, so we'll have to click the preview scripted script users. It will generate a script for me, so I just have to copy this script and use whenever I need it. I can run through the background script or wherever I need it. So I'll go back here and then I'll write that a business rule. So let's say that business rule, and click new. So my condition is, whenever the incident will be created, this incident information should be cascaded to this environment, from this environment to this environment. So for that, we have to define the trigger condition here, on which condition the script should be run, right? So very first thing is that our trigger condition we are going to define here through the business rule. It means that whenever the record will be created through the business rule, we'll run that code. So here I'll say that send incident information. So let's say this is my business rule name, and here I'll select that table name called incident. Now we have to select the advanced. If we select the advanced, then it will be open the script part where I can write the script. Now when it will be triggered, whenever the incident will be inserted, and then I'm not putting any condition at that moment. So whenever any incident will be created to this environment, I am going to run this business rule, and this business rule, what I will paste that code that I have get from the REST message. I'll just do a formatting, little format code, and unnecessary code I'll remove from here. I don't like to get that unnecessary code. Now here we need to be instead of this single quotes, we need to actual value, we need to be replaced, right? So we need to pass that current dot urgency, so that in this parameter we can pass actual value. So we'll pass that current dot urgency, current dot impact, like that, current dot cmdb underscore ci. These all are these all are our incident field, so caller underscore id. So we'll say that current dot caller underscore id. These all are so a value we are going to pass here. Current dot short description. So what I am going to do, I am going to collect this value and passing here as a parameter, and then whatever response I'll get, I will store into the current dot work notes. So once we send the data, let's say that once we send the data to these third party or another environment, they will send me a response, and that response I will store into the work notes. So this configuration is done right now. Everything is set it right now. It's time to test that our integration is working or not. So for that, what I'll do, I'll go back here and then I'll say that incident.list. So this is the one of the incident table, and here this is the another incident table. So these two environment. In this environment of 13184, if we create the incident, that incident should send to this 105176 environment. So let's try to see that it's working or not. So I'll say that I'll click new button here, and here I will select some information. Let's say that I'll select that Abel tutor as a user. Configuration item, I will select that. Let's say, let's see what we have. Okay, and then short description, I will say that REST outbound testing. So, and then impact and urgency, these are by default low. So I think we are passing all these informations. Let's say urgency, impact, caller, and short description. These all information we are doing. Now, once we submit that, our business root will be run, our REST message will be triggered, and that data will be sent to this environment. And here, one incident will be created, and this incident number will be passed to this environment so that we can store into our work notes. So let's save that. Once we save that, you can see we uh, we sent the incident details, but we got a message that CI may be not found or not in operational status. So we send the data to this environment, but that CI, whatever CI we have selected, that is not in operational status. Let's see. So you can see that we are actually communicating between two environments. We are sending the data, and then that environment is responding that. So I'll do one thing. I'll copy this message and then create one more fresh incident, or you can say that fresh incident here. And here this time I'll select the configuration item is operational status is operational, some operational configuration item. And remember that this validation is doing to the third party. We are not doing anything. So that third party check that in their system, uh, this CI is not operational. Let's check that this CI is first operational or not in this environment. So this is my another environment. In this environment, is that operational status is operational for this CI or not? That is very important. So if we check that, this CI is the operational. So if we pass this CI, it should send a response. Now, one more thing, I forget that. So if you see here, this 13185, this is the CMDB CI, which is nothing but a uh, you know, CI, which is we passed as a previously we passed this, CI name, right? So CMDB CI we pass that ABC. But if you see current.cmdb CI is returned, will return you in this incident table. Current.cmdb CI is nothing but this is the reference field which is returning the CSI. So for that, what we have to do, I have to just do a name so that it can send the actual name or display value. I just updated a little bit my business rule, and then once you click save that, this one three I mean this environment sent a data, and you can see we got a response that incident created, which is nothing but 10024, which is not in this environment. Definitely this, once you created an incident in this environment, the another environment is the another one, this one here, it will have one more incident which will be created. So you can see this incident number is returned me here. So this way we can communicate between two environment. If you have, I mean, you can see that I created an incident here in this 13184, and that incident is directly created to this another environment through the REST method. So this is how we can communicate between two environment. If you have any question, just let me know. So that's it for today. Thank you very much. Have a great day.